Hey, thanks for joining me again. Here goes nothing. Um, I wasn't even going to make a video this morning. Literally 15 minutes ago, I had no idea I was going to make a video. Um, Thanks for joining me. I was going to make these short. This one is going to kind of extend out longer a little bit because I got a lot of stuff to go through. Um, First off, I know Mr. Nobleman made a comment. It was amusing and not unexpected about what are you on? You're either on something or on to something. Uh, well, I'm not on anything anymore as far as that goes. I don't even do. I refuse to do. Well, I've always been anti-government drugs, anti-pharmaceutical, blah blah blah. But of course, I had most of a lifetime of various drug experimentation. Um, Even when I was younger, though, not saying I didn't do some partying, but party drugs were more like alcohol and stuff in my younger age. As far as the hard drugs and stuff, I went into drugs other than when I got into the methamphetamine for business and then got caught up with the company and all that stuff of my journey. Um, the hard drugs that I did for experimentation purposes, trying to reach a higher conscious state. And let me tell you, because you made a comment, I want to clarify for those who may not know, with no drug experience or believe the crap that they've been programmed with by society. Um, the certain drugs will change your perceptive capabilities. It will change your perception. It will heighten, enhance, and bring about new perceptions when done and used properly, and one is paying attention to the outcome, the results of it. Um, there are many drugs, especially higher ones, that are highly illegal, like DMT. Most of your hallucinogenics, LSDs, mushrooms, things like that are at the top of the illegal list. And I'm here to tell you that drugs are illegal not because they care about you. They're not worried about your health and safety. The drugs that are controlled substances, and people need to understand terms too in our language, are actually very more literal than they realize. Like the Patriot Act is for patriots. Well, they call controlled substance a controlled substance because they control it, right? Obviously, I mean, and people don't understand the depth of that control. It's on all levels. If they didn't want cocaine in this country, you wouldn't have cocaine in this country. Maybe an occasional idiot might get through with some, but otherwise, the cartels instead, they work hand in hand with the cabal. The Bushes, the Clintons, this whole corruption that is in our government extends out that far. The war on drugs was a sham, just like the war on terror is a sham, and it was a money-making sham. And in their mind, if you're fool enough to fucking use the drugs and fall for it, then you deserve what they're going to dish out to you. And you're trash if you're a quote-unquote druggie. And they program most of society, this self-policing society, to think the same way. And you have to realize, it's just like the seatbelt laws or any other law they make. It's not really for your. They'll disguise this stuff. Excuse my lots of S's there. They'll disguise this stuff as good for you or in your best interest. And most of it's not. They don't care about you. Okay, yeah, I mean they want you alive. They want to get as much gleaned out of your life here as possible. Being you are, each and every one of you, a commodity. But never mind. I'm not going to get into all that because that would waste a whole lot of time. Point being, yes, much of what I'm telling you, I learned through drug use. I was able to see and experience many things through my extensive experimentation in my younger years with drugs. And that's what If it wasn't for drugs, I probably would have never went down the quote-unquote spiritual path. I'd probably be a secularist, materialistic dickhead instead of a spiritual dickhead. Now, I've been called that a lot lately too. Let me clear that up real quick. I'm not here to be a nice guy. I am probably not a nice guy to most people, and but for those that I know and or even a stranger on the street, if they need, I'll give the shirt off my back. I'll do everything in my hand. But the minute you cross me, the minute you make me even think you're going to cross me, it's done. I've had in my life lessons. I don't. You have to earn the first chance, and there are no second chances. Well, I've given a couple people second chances and forgiven them because they've been really good friends, even when they fucked up and did things that were backstabbing. But nevertheless, so the people that may think in the comment sections when they see me commenting to certain people or whatever, and oh, you're an asshole, you're a dick. Well, oh well. Okay, now we got that cleared up. Let's look at something. I'm going to leave you a bunch of links in the box, of course. Many more this time than usual. Just for shits and giggles, we're going to look at this, and I'm going to leave you a link to this great PowerPoint, great PowerPoint by Lippincott, Williams, and Wilkins, right? The fundamentals of human energy transfer. And this is a very long PowerPoint presentation. Goes through all these different laws and laws of energy. In case you don't know these, I mean, I've worked on boilers and energy systems my whole life. Since I was young, my dad had a boiler service company. And so, I mean, these are some of the, the laws of thermal. These are the measurable energy processes. Excuse me, real quick there. That basically rule and govern this material construct. These are written into the different laws, like I was talking about yesterday. And these, all this information is excellent information to get to learn and know, to know your world. This is what most of our destruction, our Luciferian destruction science is based off of. The law of thermodynamics. It's an excellent PowerPoint presentation to get you familiar with biological processes. It goes into biological enzymes, coenzymes, all this. Again, all these different reactions would be, in this cases, whatever that cell is programmed to do. And these cells are programmed to do these things, and this is how they create from chemically to electrically, and create energy in the form that we can use in the physical construct. Okay? Now, all of this energy here deals with exactly that, the physical construct. Right? Well, guess what? I'm going to give this to you because if you're not familiar with this information, it is great information to know about your world. However, this is not the information we're talking about. What we're talking about is an energy that you cannot see. An energy that is unmeasurable by most of our modern science methods and instruments. Now, some people, some individual inventors and stuff have made instruments that can measure this stuff. And much to my surprise, when I got on this morning, well, I got on this morning a long time ago, but uh, when I got on this time, because I personal stuff has to be done. That's another thing. On these videos, I try to make them sporadically because I have to do them when I don't have people around me. And that's why I haven't been reading a lot of books on the Freemasonic channel either, because finding alone time and long stretches like that to do these videos, I have to grab them when they come. I can't make videos around the people and mainly the person that I live with because it unnerves them. Now, she knows about all this stuff, but she don't want to hear about it every day because she has other things to deal with in life. And so anyway, that's why these are as they are, and I'll get them out whenever I can, and basically they're just off of inspiration. This was inspired by way back when with one of my good friends from, I've known her since I was like 15, but when we were younger and I was going through some times and trials, she was in college, and she gave me a book, and it was called Energy Transference. And I was actually awakening to this type of energy that I'm sharing with you now. And the whole hidden gang stalker thing was going on heavy with me at that time back there, and I called them gankers. It was, there's actually, and there's a lot of people out here that think, oh, people are basically good-hearted. They're good at heart. People are, let me tell you right now, there's a group of people out here, and you never know who they are or where they are, because they lie and they deceive, like Obama or Clinton, and every word comes out their effing mouth as a lie. I call them gankers, and they live by a different philosophy in life. They think this life is a game. They think that the goal in life is to get over on the other guy before he gets over on you. And they look at life through this lens that is very dark. Talk about a glass darkly. And their whole goal is to fuck over as many people and get over on as many people as possible. They think that is how you gain bonus in this life, up to their ending little party in Valhalla or wherever. So, not I said Valhalla. I'm not trying to tie in the Celtic religions. That's not what I meant. It's just any place for the hell. Well, maybe they think it's a party in hell. I don't know. As far as that goes, you can barely get these people to admit who and what they are, and how they think, and because they won't openly admit it to you. They're constantly wearing mask after mask after mask. They pretend like they're your friend, and the whole time they're scheming on you and what they can get from you, etc., in the process. It's sickening. And unfortunately, we have many, many people in this world that are like that. Not everybody has good intentions or a good heart. And those who pretend, the most philanthropic people in the world are usually the most evil ones. Take Bill Gates, the Rockefellers, any of them for a fucking example. Excuse my French. I don't want to get emotional or pissed off about this, but I mean, these people do piss me off. So, first off, do we actually transfer in? Quick switch of subject. Back to the point. Transfer energy to other people when we touch. Do we? Well, according to William Collins, PhD, tells us some fascinating breakthroughs discovered at the Institute of Heart Math in understanding the energetics of touch in his book Subtle Energy. Sorry, my finger hit the microphone there. Awakening to the unseen forces in our lives, since the heart creates the strongest electromagnetic field the body, measurable from several feet away. Roland McCready and his colleagues wanted to find out whether our heart energy fields are really detectable at the surface of one another's bodies when we are in close proximity or actually touching. Make this a little bigger for you. And for me too, what the heck. Oh, I do have my glasses on though. Alright, so one study involved wiring pairs of subjects up to electrodes and having them sit 5 feet apart. The researchers found that one person's heart energy waves, electrocardiogram output, were not detectable by the electrodes on the surface of the other person's body at that distance. However, when they were holding hands, each person's heart energy waves were detectable on the surface of the other person's body, and even in the other person's brain waves. Researchers then wondered whether what was being picked up was being radiated through the air from the first person's heart, or was being conducted like a wire conducts electricity through skin contact. What they found was that when one person touched the other through a latex glove, the signal was still present, but was only 1/10 as strong. When they did another experiment to determine whether heart energy was transferred when the subjects were sitting closely together but not touching at all, subjects were seated 3 feet apart and again wired with electrodes. Indeed, their electrocardiogram output was detectable across the space between them on the surface of each other's bodies. Thus, we know that the heart energy field is both conducted by physical contact and radiated across space between people. When we touch or are in close physical proximity with another, there is a real transfer of energy between us. Okay, clinically proven study. Okay, so I don't need this stuff because I work with it every day. This is how I live my life. I've lived my life for decades like this. When I went through hell and back, literally, and learned it. So, but nowadays they're figuring this stuff out. These studies that I'm showing you now weren't even available back when I first started the internet trying to study stuff and figure out stuff and quantum physics, all that. There's some of this stuff I'm showing you is going to be from like last year and stuff. It's new stuff. But this is the stuff of life, man. And so in this example too, I've shown you now that we have the physical energy process, thus the PowerPoint presentation, that works within the matrix, within this physical realm or this 3D realm, what we perceive as a physical realm. You know, again, you live in it's everything is energy, and so then here we have this other unseen energy, kind of like CERN is searching for an unseen energy, right? That energy they're looking for is in you. So, okay. Human electricity. Nerve impulses are electrical energy signals, and they create energy fields around the body and electromagnetic energy waves that can travel away from the body. Nerve impulses, electricity in the body. Human electricity energy is generated by chemical processes in nerve cells. Billions of nerve impulses travel throughout the human brain and the nervous system. A nerve impulse is a wave of electrical activity that passes from one end of the nerve cell to the other. Each impulse is the same size. It is the frequency, impulses per second, that carries information about the intensity of the nerve signal. Neurons are the basic unit of the nervous system. Neurons are responsible for sending, receiving, and interpreting information from all parts of the body. Now this here, these processes, okay, this is where you're getting the crossover between that unseen energy and that physical, what we see, physical processes of the body. Okay, and there's that connected point where where the body and that unseen energy. See, it's actually that unseen energy that is creating the rest of everything. but I don't want to get too deep too fast. That's what I'm giving you here is I want to get these ideas that I've been talking about, and I'm giving you all these examples that you can actually grasp onto, because I know people like to grasp onto. They like to have something that they tangible that they can grasp and understand. And so this is why I'm showing you all this different stuff here for stuff to grasp onto, and so you can visualize and understand and realize. That's realize, bring it into reality, your reality, this information, this knowledge, this gnosis. And okay, so the nervous system, human electrical system. The nervous system is a network of cells called neurons, which blah 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 blah. I don't want to read all this because I got some more to read, but I will of course leave all these links and you can check them out. Human magnetism, the electromagnetic field. As electricity passes through a metal wire, it causes an energy field or magnetic field. In a similar way, human electricity in the brain and nervous system creates human magnetic fields. There are billions of nerve impulses in the bodies, and these are constantly creating complex human magnetic fields. The human heart is a source of electromagnetism that even at a few meters away is detectable by modern scientific instruments. Magnetic induction energy transfer. And the image on the right shows input electric current producing a magnetic field around one wire. This field passes through another wire and creates an output electric current. In physical science, this is called magnetic induction. Similarly to magnetic induction in metal wires, the human electromagnetic field can be felt or can influence other people who are standing by. From your experience, do some people create a feeling within you when you are close by? Oh yeah. For me, everybody does. That's why I isolate myself a lot, because I am so sensitive you wouldn't believe it. I can read your emotions, your thoughts, it's nerve-wracking. When close to some people, you may feel as if your body and mind becomes more energized, more hopeful, more optimistic. Now, this would be because somebody would be giving you energy. Or some people know how to suck energy. Okay, and this is what I was talking about in the last video, behavioral patterns that we learn that are automatic, that work in our body that we don't even realize, because this energy thing has kind of a mind of its own. It's tied into your survival instincts and everything, to where it works automatically, like the automatic processes of your body. When close to other people, you may feel as if your energy drains away. A depressing or lazy feeling. That means somebody's sucking off of you, right? Exactly what that means. So electricity waves energy travel over a long distance. Now, Tesla discovered this and tried to show people this is a secret, or one of the biggest secrets kept. Electric force can transform into different types of energy waves, such as heat, radiation, radio, and microwaves. Now, these two they let us in on. The radio and microwaves, that's, radiation, they guard that secretly. That is super top secret guarded, and the nuclear industry and stuff is in control of the physical aspects of that. And these energy waves can travel long distance. Proven by Tesla over 100 and 120, 130 years ago now. I don't know the exact date, but electric force can transform into different types of energy waves. A changing magnetic field will induce a changing electric field, and vice versa. The two are linked. These changing fields from electromagnetic waves travel not only through air and solid materials, but also through space. The human nervous system can create electric energy waves that can be measured with scientific instruments. The human body produces infrared radiation that, with night vision equipment, can be seen from miles away. Part of this page is part of the human nerve force energy and proper breathing lesson. Again, I'll include the link. Alright, so let's move on a little bit. Empathic blending. Okay, Dr. Lawrence Wilson. What is empathic empathic blending. Empathic blending is an energy exchange that occurs at times between people. It is due to a blending of the aura or energy fields of the two or more people involved. The energy field of a person is the emanation of subtle energy from the body. It might be called an electrical field that radiates a slight glow around a person and all around all living things. It has various layers and may extend from several inches to miles around a person depending on one's level of mental development. It cannot be seen by most people, although some people can see it as a slight colored glow around people, known as the aura. And that's, it gets to that. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead of the darn article. I haven't read none of this stuff yet. Let me tell you something, folks. When I get these inspirations, excuse me for a moment. I gotta clear my throat. Alright, when I get these inspirations, just like finding this information, I went off the one keyword search of something that was on the cover of a college book given to me that I never even read. I never even read the book she gave me. I was like, yeah, I know. She gave me the book. She was studying at a course, and I'm like, but I didn't know at the time, and I was surprised. I was like, they teach this shit in college? Are you serious? You know, but it wasn't exactly the same stuff. But point being, I took that term search this morning. It was like, boom. Are you gonna make a video while you got some alone time? You know, and that came to my mind, so I searched it, and each one of these stories popped up for me, right? And I didn't pick every story in this list. I went through here and randomly picked stories, and they lined up perfectly. Okay, well, almost perfectly. We're going to go back to the government study here in a second. But I mean, basically, and I'm reading them just off the fly. I have not read these pre this video, okay? And they're fitting right in synchronistically. Okay, this is the Lord working. This is how the Lord works in your life. The Lord God, Jesus Christ, if you want to use that name. That's another thing. The people understand, okay? All your little rituals, all your little game, all your this, all your that, all this, testing stuff. Okay, the Lord knows your heart. Knows your heart. Straight from your heart. And on another channel, I'm going to make a video about the whole, on my Gnostic Christ channel, I'm going to make a whole bunch of videos about the true meanings of Scripture and the falsities that are in the Old Testament particularly. But God is not going to test your faith in such dramatic ways, such as like asking you to sacrifice your child, which is ridiculous. The Father would never ask somebody to do that. He knows whether you're loyal to Him or not, whether you're faithful to Him or not. He knows your heart. He knows you better than you know you. So, okay, just on that point. Okay, so anyway, this has just given to me to give to you through the Spirit. This is how it works in your life. The Lord works very subtly. Okay, I have served the Lord all my life since childhood. Even through the bad times, He used me as like an undercover agent. It was my freaking life has been incredible. But and even when I didn't know it, even when I took a stray path myself, even when I was into the all the crap, He was still there, guiding, subtly controlling everything. He subtly controls everything, and that's how He works. He works subtly. And He's never spoke to me. He don't talk to me. I talk to Him all the time. He don't talk back. If you hear voices, if you're somebody's telling you, "Oh, God told me to do this," well, you better question that person, or test their spirit, because I'm not saying God doesn't talk to some people. I don't know that. Okay, so I can't definitely say that. I'm not a judge of that. I try not to be judge of anything. But I'm just saying, in my experience, this is how the Lord works in my life, subtly. I've never heard necessarily voices, but at the same time, I hear the voices all the time. because half the voices in your head are not yours, people. They seriously are not yours. That negative crap, that crap that makes you feel inept and makes you lose your way, and whether it's your works on your ego, or your a lot of people have poor self-esteem, and you got that little voice whispering. It's literally like the cartoon you see with one angel on one shoulder and the little devil on the other shoulder whispering in your ear. You have demons whispering in your ear all the time. All the time, giving you thoughts in your head that you don't know, and they're always trying to counter everything you fucking do that's positive. So I don't want to waste a lot of time on that, but I mean, that is actually part of this, and how this world is, and what works, and what is working here, what's going on here. People are being influenced. They don't even know it. So, okay, I'm going to get back to this. What occurs, I'm sorry, with empathic blending? When one visualizes blending with another person, it causes a transfer of information from one person to another. Literally. And this is, you can control your energy. It's visualization, realization, understanding. Because I tell you what, nothing in this matrix construct that is your reality, your little cube of reality, bubble of reality, however, it's actually a cube. I've seen the cube. But it's, call it a bubble, whatever you want. However you can, your little reality that you live in, you can control your energies and how things work within it to a certain degree. Like I said, you can't break those certain laws that are written in the code of the construct. You can bend some of them, and I'm not going to get into even how to do that. Okay? We're not supposed to do that. And so, as far as the cheating parts, but as far as having control of your own life and understanding and knowing this knowledge of this that I'm telling you now, it's not sinful, it's not antichrist, it's in fact everything Christ was trying to show you, and how to live in harmony with your world and with the creation and with the Father Creator. And with the intent that he created this creation with certain intent. Okay? He didn't want it to go this way, that way, another way. Right? There's a way that things work correctly. And that's, again, unlike the churches tell you, they control people with fear, and they try to act like this Bible. And one thing, you're under New Covenant, okay? Or the New Testament is the New Covenant, okay? If you're following Christ. And nothing in that Old Testament applies to you at all. Yet the churches use it all the time to keep you under control and keep you blinded and lie to you as they jump around taking verses and stuff out of context and using it in different contexts in their sermons and stuff. I'm trying to stay on track here. But what he was teaching you is a completely different thing. And what all that other crap does not apply. Bottom line, does not apply. Following Christ is following his teachings. And when you follow his teachings, the Spirit is going to start showing you things. And the things he's going to show you is going to be knowledge. Don't be fearful of the, fearful tree of knowledge. No. Hosea 4:6. Right? My people die for the lack of knowledge. They perish for the lack of knowledge. They shall not be priests to me. Right? He says, right? And that's, you have to take what I did, when I had my spiritual awakening and stuff. There wasn't a whole lot of Bible involved. There wasn't a whole lot of scripture involved. In fact, there was basically none at the time of my awakening. I had already had that in my life as a child, because I was taught by nuns everything I know and stuff. I went to Catholic schools, Episcopal schools, and all this shit that my parents put me through. So even though they themselves were not religious and at that time didn't believe in God at all. Imagine that. Isn't that weird? When I was like 7 years old, I used to walk a mile and a half or so, mile and a quarter, down to church, Sunday school, by myself. My parents didn't go to church. They didn't go to any of that. I would walk down there by myself and go to church by myself. as a child. It is bizarre. So anyway, this may seem strange, but it is true, and it's very similar to or even identical to the phenomena in electricity and magnetism called induction. In electricity, when two wires are close together as a transformer, the current of one wire can cause or induce a flow of current in the other wire. This is how a transformer works. Back to this, when one visualizes blending, what I was talking about before I got onto the Bible track there, the anti-church rant, sorry. That's the whole reason I'm showing you this and trying to embed this. Yes, I'm inducting you into it. I'm initiating you into it. I want you to realize this, know this, and accept this as reality. Because once you do, your world will change. Your world will become wondrous. It will be amazing. Every day will be an adventure for you. And but only when you believe in something. Okay. Back to what got me on the Bible rant. Nothing in this matrix or this construct will manifest in your world, your little bubble, your little cube I was talking about. You can't manifest it unless you believe in it. If you don't believe in it, you're never going to see evidence of it. Or if you're not at least searching. That's why in the scriptures he tells you to search. Seek and ye will find. If you don't seek, you're not going to find nothing. Because you're not looking. Okay? So where does empathic blending occur? Empathic blending occurs between mates, between parents and children, between students and teachers. It can also occur at work, between colleagues and work associates, between two teenage friends, and in many other human interactions. It also occurs between people and animals, and between animals and other animals. It can even occur between people and their plants, or plants, yes, put out energy fields. And between animals and plants with other plants. And it is how common and easy this type of blending is. Now let me tell you, even inanimate objects have energy fields. They're not like living magnetic energy fields, but they have their own energy signatures for those who can see it, which most humans, of course, cannot see it. You have to be enhanced to be able to see stuff like that, and that's where, that's like I said, my youth comes in. Mushrooms and yeah, I've had some crazy times, man, fun times, but they're in the past. Now let us discuss some interesting aspects of empathic blending, such as why it occurs so easily, how to use it for healing, dangers, and the risks it carries, and how to avoid the dangers as to maintain your health and your identity intact. Why does empathic blending occur? Basically, it occurs because all human beings and animals have a subtle energy field or electrical energy field around their bodies, and it's automatic, like I said. The strongest part of it extends only a few inches away from the body, but during certain situations it grows very large, up to several miles in diameter. It can also be extended to another person in some situations, such as in sexual contacts. A property of this energy field is that it can overlap or blend with the field of another person, causing a phenomenon. As stated above, it is a type of resonance and induction phenomenon. Relative strength matters in a lot in empathic blending. I would say, psychic strength or mental strength is most relative. The transfer of information and awareness of, if you do not have if you do not have awareness of this is another reason for letting you know all this stuff in this world today, especially. You're a sitting duck. You are a sitting duck to any person who knows this information to come along, and I'm telling you, masters at this can insert thoughts into your head. They can pull your deepest secrets out of your subconscious and use them and turn them against you and verbalize them against you. They can if you do not know this, if you're not aware of this, you would not believe the shields that I have had to create through my life to be able to shield myself from the mental attacks that I will get when I go out in public. And even I've had to shield myself I've had to learn to put up a shield, a wall, to block other people's emotions and feelings out away from me. Because, like in crowds, I cannot. I've been to concerts galore, you know, hundreds or more. I've seen every person and many of them more than once that I would ever want to see. And when I was younger, it didn't really bother me. As I've grown older, I've grown more sensitive. And I'll tell you what, nowadays, a huge crowd, I can barely contain myself. It just assaults me on all sides. So this energy comes in whether you want it or not. And if you come up against a master that knows how to direct and use this energy, he can literally manipulate your feelings, manipulate your emotions, your mental state, and at sometimes, in some cases, he can mentally uh, uh, control your actions, or at least affect your actions to where you will react a certain way as predicted. Okay, and the government knows this stuff. They use this against you every day. For example, so this is, you must learn this. You must know this. You must be aware of this stuff and understand that this is also it can be something that can be used to improve your life and can be used in a positive way for you and to help all the people that you love around you. But it is also being constantly used against you. Okay. For example, if one healer is a healer and one blends with the client or patient, if the healer is stronger or has more vitality, then the healer will give energy to the client. However, if the client happens to be at a higher vitality level than the healer, then the client will extend their illness to the healer, making the healer more ill. This cannot be avoided, so be careful if you are blending with anyone who is ill in any way. How can empathic blending cause healing? As the etheric bodies blend, there occurs a transfer of information. Exactly. Just like information on your laser disc going through your internet or any other information, this energy transfer of information. For example, a healer who is stronger blends with a client who has a virus. The healer sends a healing vibration, it would be a frequency, or energy that may weaken or even kill the virus. This can help reduce or completely remove the virus. And this is also how self-healing works, folks. You can adjust your own frequency levels to heal yourself. The effect may not last, however, at times it does because enough change takes place in the receiver that the virus cannot once again gain a foothold after blending contact has occurred. Many healers actually do this consciously or unconsciously. They make good doctors and nurses, for example, because everyone who comes in contact with them begins to feel better automatically, as it were. As another example, if a weaker person is a very slow oxidizer and the stronger one has a balanced oxidation rate, this information is transferred also. It can cause oxidation rate, the weaker person to increase as a result, and this is related to an article on this website called The Car Analogy to Understand Nutritional Balancing Science. Okay, I'll check that out sometime. By forcefully speeding up the oxidation rate, toxin removal speeds up greatly, and this has a powerful healing effect. Many other healing possibilities exist. The stronger person could also slow down a very fast oxidation rate. In a weaker person, the stronger person could help correct an imbalanced mineral ratio in the weaker person, and so on. This is essentially how it works. Can empathic healing transfer vitamin, minerals, or other substances from one person to another? Now, some of this I may not agree on, and I don't know if they have studies for this, and I'm going to stop reading this article here. However, can empathic also transfer, at least in part, attitudes, habits, or emotions? Yes. Not is it only possible, it is definite. So here, some things they say it's possible, some things they say the answer is yes to. I don't think you can transfer vitamins, minerals, or any other physical substance through your energy field from one person to another. You may improve those that are already within that person, but you cannot transfer physical items through this energy field. It is not possible, not without dissimulation. And there we get into what would be considered transports, or what do they call that, where you make one something disappear here and appear over there. I can't think of the darn word for it right now, but you know what I'm saying. Um, that's a different thing completely. So, but I will leave this link, of course, and it is a long article. You can come and read it, check it out, take what's worth it to you, and leave the rest. All right. Excuse me again. I'm going to have to clear my throat. All right. Human energy transference, a paranormal analysis. Qigong. The New England Center for Advancement of Paranormal Science. This link will be included since 2004. All right, let's improve this view. Since 2004, the New England Center for Advancement of Paranormal Studies has been involved in a multitude of studies, including phonetic pattern calculations and electronic voice phenomena, electromagnetic transference, electromagnetic effects on human perceptions, exploring claims of psychic abilities, understanding human misperceptions, as well as claims of paranormal activity and human abilities. As investigators with the New England Center for Advancement of Paranormal Science, we are often contacted by individuals who would like a location investigated for paranormal activity. We approach self-proclaimed psychics and request their participation with our testing and their abilities, but not surprisingly, none have elected to be tested to date. Imagine our excitement when we were contacted late 2013 by an individual who claimed to have the power to transfer his energy to another human being. Fei, a 31-year-old student from China, studying in Boston, Massachusetts, was eager to have his power tested, was willing to undergo any amount of examination and scrutiny. He wanted testing performed to both validate his claims of qi, or qi, it's also called qi, but he's calling it qi, or kai, energy, transference, to determine if he possesses the ability to heal or reduce pain symptoms in another person. Kai, or Qi, the biomagnetism, or Qi is what I learned it to be in my Eastern studies, is thought to be a bioelectric current or life energy field measured in biophotons running through our nerves, which send signals back and forth to our brains. After researching similar claims of energy healing, we determined that Qigong, or Qigong, purportedly a energy flow one uses through non-contact to guide their body's energy force into the body of another person, is the closest energy transference practice as that of Fei. On November 16, 2013, we had our second meeting with Fei and interviewed him further. We also performed a series of energy flow experiments with him on that day in an effort to prevent the placebo effect. Several systems were put into place to lower the possibility of bias in the results. We used a variety of equipment to measure EEG, respiratory rate, heart rate, galvanic skin response, and blood pressure on 3 test volunteers. Additionally, we used blindfolds, earplugs, thermal photography, and a video camera and a control subject. Each of the 3 blindfolded and soundproof volunteers had baseline readings performed before, during, and after each test. There was a noticeable change concerning the galvanic skin response in the thermal photos in 2 of the 3 test subjects. Skin conductivity decreased from 320 k ohms to 440 k ohms, and the series of thermal photos appear to show a different heat response between Fei, Michael, and the control subject, as well as the 2 of the 3 volunteers. Reports of feeling tingling, static, heaviness in the hand and fingertips, the most common descriptive terms used to describe this sensation during this non-skin contact testing from 2 test volunteers. There were periods of not feeling anything, including when Michael, our control subject, mimicked that Fei was doing. Also reported that there was a slight residual tingling sensation that continued for approximately 30 minutes after the testing was completed. Upon the conclusion of the testing, thermal imaging photographic evidence was reviewed, and preliminary analysis seems to corroborate the instances that the sensation was felt during the instances that Fei was conducting his energy transference. The thermal energy or images of his hands and the test subject's hands before and after the session showed this correlation. Now these pictures appear to show that 2 of the test subjects' hands were cool, then got hotter when Faye conducted his energy transference, then got cooler after he was done, stayed cooler when Michael did his placebo energy transference. Also interesting to note is that the 3rd test subject felt nothing, as her hands, the thermal images did not change during or after both Faye's testing and Michael, our controls test. So one person was impervious to it, is what it says, of the 3. So though this, even to either one, of course the Michael guy, he doesn't have the power, so his all showed negative. He probably has power, but he doesn't know it and doesn't use it, just like most people do. Though this November trial showed changes in skin conductivity and heat response, no definitive conclusions could yet be reached. Meta-analysis shows that the evidence for the effectiveness of external Qigong is encouraging, and though further studies are warranted due to small number of studies and participants involved, which precluded any firm conclusions about specific effects of Qigong on pain. In addition, vast amounts of quantitative data, as well as qualitative data collected on studies, demonstrated impressive effects on this life energy in accelerating bone repair, controlling seizures, stimulating nerve regeneration, suppressing inflammation, and promoting health of wounds, healing of wounds, and elimination of infections, warts, tumors, lesions, and other diseased tissues. Another session is being scheduled to carry out a stricter experiment where we intend on testing Faye's ability to detect pain areas on test subjects, as well as testing Faye's claims of his healing ability. So Faye will touch him, and they'll hit him on the knee with a hammer, and we'll see if Faye can tell him where they hit him at. No, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just being funny. So I'll leave the link. You can check it out and maybe find the follow-up of the next study. Here's another link, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of, I might have read more of this before, but I mean, I've inserted a lot of my own little comments into this, and it's extended out longer than I expected. The Alchemy Realm court site here is what it gave me. You know, like I said, I don't search for this stuff. I let the Lord give it to me through the Spirit. It pops up synchronistically and automatically, and it all just fits together. And thank you, Lord. So, thank you, Christ. Thank you, Yeshua HaMashiach. Just to be clear, that's as Zeph would say, I danced with the one who brung me, and Jesus saves. The word, even in the American version name, the word, that name has power. I know through experience, and maybe I'll share my crossroads experience with you and some other things in the future. Maybe we'll see. So cords are made of astral and etheric energy and connect 2 people's subtle bodies. They stretch between 2 people very much, like an umbilical cord. But I wanted to follow up with that. Unlike Zeph, I don't fall into any of the Catholic or religious traditions of Christianity. Okay, I've already studied through all that stuff, and it's all false. And so, although I believe that the Holy Spirit works with me and through my life, because I see evidence of it in my life, I do not follow any of the traditions of the church. Okay, I just deal with the one-on-one with Christ relationship. That's how it works for me. And I'm not saying that, you know, you are you. I'm me. Zeph is Zeph. And George is George. And comprende? So, they stretch between 2 people. It's very much like an umbilical cord and transfer emotional energy and chi between the 2. It does not matter how far energy or how far away the other person is, as the cord is not a physical substance, and the distance is irrelevant. So it is still effective from the other side of the planet. It's effective from the other side of the universe, or outside the dome even. No. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm not talking about some stupid-ass glass dome over the earth or whatever. The firmament is not a dome over the earth, people. But I'm not going to get into that. It is a firmament. but it's not a dome. Okay. All babies have a cord around their belly to their mother after the physical umbilical cord is cut. Some may have extra cords. So they're just trying to use a metaphysical example here, and they're using cord as an example. You can read this. Skip down. Another common cord is between two lovers. Okay, and we do develop cords, what could be used analogically described as a cord. I don't describe it that way, as a connection. Remember that old song from, what was it, Golden Earring was the original, I think was the name of the original band, that's Radar Love, right? Talking about the connection between two people over a distance. I always thought of it more like that, maybe from that song, but I thought of more of a radar connection, more of a etherical connection. I never visualized it as chords, but a lot of these people that practice all this stuff do. And there's nothing wrong with meditation. Meditation is just clearing your mind and letting your spirit and your aura and everything become peace with your surroundings, and there's a lot to it. It's more, and it's not just all about some devil serpentine thing that a lot of Christians have tried to turn it into. Now, some of the studies, you have to feel in your spirit what's right for you and what feels right. Because some of the studies, yes, do cross the line. And they take it too far. And they try to develop powers or abilities, or then get into summoning and other things. These are where you don't want to go. But as far as just being at peace with yourself, meditating, concentrating, maybe you want to be at one with your Creator, right? There's nothing wrong with that, and nothing wrong with getting to know yourself. All right. So open your mind a little bit. Don't open it so far that your brains fall out. And I thank you for joining me, folks. I think I'm at the end of words for now, and this has been long enough. We'll see you on the next one. And God bless.